So we are going to talk about unification of Korea, and I have to do this. I have a checklist here, so I have many things to do and share with you. This is first of all, I want to share a link with you, and I will talk about that later. Let's see now. Okay, so now you see the first slide. So the reason for this sermon, which I held for also the Danish family in July, as you can see here, on over Zoom, of course, is that national leaders in the spring, maybe you remember, I think it was April, they went to Korea for a meeting, True Mother, and they had many sessions there. And when they returned with three books and one memory stick. And the three books, you will see later the titles on them. And we were encouraged. I watched, and on that memory stick, there were videos, there were PowerPoints, and there was Word documents about one of those three books. So that is what this sermon is about. And we were encouraged to train lectures on this. And of course, we don't have the resources for that. But anyway, so this is like an introduction. And I really first like to say, I am not qualified. I'm not really qualified to do this, not really lecture, but anyway, this sharing of this book. But anyway, I will do a try. I will do my best. And please forgive if I don't have all the deep details about the theory of unification of Korea. Okay, let's go. Next slide. Okay, there we are. Okay, so that's a painting by Bengt Anderson. I felt it was a good inspiration. You see the Holy Palace there. I'll wait a couple of seconds. Okay. Bengt Anderson's a Swedish brother, as you might know from before. Okay. Okay, let's see now. How do you unify? There we go. Okay, I have to arrange my screen a little bit here. So there we are. So you can see here on the right corner, you see the three books that they brought back from Korea and the memory stick above it. So I am in good contact with Lars Nergård in Copenhagen, as some of you might know, and he felt like we should share this. So we discussed how to do it, and he put it online. So he put the whole content of this memory stick. It's quite huge, many gigabytes. He put online, and that's the link that I shared with you. So if you want that content or some of that, just keep the link, you can click whatever you're interested in. There's 19 sessions altogether, and there is video, PowerPoint, and Word documents on this. So you have all the chances to really to go deeply into this after this introduction. So the speaker is, I can almost not see, Jin Sung Bae. He was former at the Sun Moon University, and now he's doing this full time. So he is training lectures in Korea. And I start here with a summary. So you see the three titles at the bottom of the screen, and we are talking then about theory, having a unified Korea. And this is really what I want you to remember from this sermon, this sharing. It's three directions. So we have democracy in the West and most of the world, and we have Juche ideology in North Korea, and then we have true fathers, headwing or Godism as a third choice. Okay. And this Juche ideology is based on communism, the communist theory by Marx and Engels. And then later, Kim Il-sung, he made it a North Korean ideology, like it's completely, Juche is completely based on his thoughts in North Korea. And it's materialistic, and it's nationalistic, based on North Korea. So they have this sort of when I say nationalistic, I don't mean just there are many nationalistic movements and countries, but this is a special case where he sees like North Korea is supreme over most other countries. So they want to do everything themselves. They keep things themselves, developing things by themselves. And of course, that is really opposing the free world democracy that we have, where we share technology and trade with each other. Yeah. So democracy, the key points are free elections, which is very good, of course, because we know that if the elected leaders or politicians, if they're not live or work for the people, they will be not elected again. So after 4 years, normally 4 years, they're kicked out of the position. And that's very good, because then they have this sort of pressure on themselves to live for others, just like True Father is saying, live for others, living for the people who voted you. And we also have free speech. And we can see the opposite now in Russia, what's ongoing there, that totalitarian is really the opposite of this value, free values. And then we have the third way, which is Hedwig Godism. And that's based on there is a God, and true parents are the second coming of Christ, Messiahs. And there's a spirit world where we all go to, and we have a global family of love. So this is really the core of Hedwig and Godism, that we are one family, we are one holy community. And that includes also Mr. Putin, Stalin, Lenin, Hitler, and all those people who were not so good. But they're also part of this global holy family. And that's the goal for everyone to reach the holy community. Yeah. So this is really what I want to, if you can remember some small things from there are many details I will go through, but this is really, the core of these 3 directions mankind can take. And I also want to comment on those pictures. You see the true parents there. This is one of my favorite pictures. They seem so happy there together with members. And I have no idea when this was taken or where, but I see some Westerns also there, maybe in the 70s, maybe in Korea. And they are together with their child. So this is really family values. That's important. Yeah, we are upholding the family, the core family. And at the bottom, you see Hunjanim, Yojanim, and Daimonim. So they're working for spirit world. We have this holy altar in the Peace Center, and many of us have it in our homes also. So we believe they are working very, very hard now from the spirit side to support the providence. Okay, background. Now I will go a little bit on the background here. So from divine principle, a human being is composed of an outer form, the body, and an inner quality, the mind. The body is a visible reflection of the invisible mind. Your universe was created after the pattern of human being, who is in the image of God's dual characteristics. Therefore, the structure of the universe and every entity in it resembles that of human being, which consists most fundamentally of mind and body. Corresponding to the human mind and body, the universe consists of the incorporeal world and the corporeal world, both of which are real and substantial. So, the division of Korea is not sort of random. You can externally, you can just see it as an extension of Second World War, where the world was divided up between the West and Soviet, and the start of the Cold War. So basically, when there was peace, 1945, but later North Korea attacked South Korea, and they got the support from China, and they wanted to take the control over whole of Korea. Of course, this is external. This is like history, a history lesson. But of course, we know there's much, much deeper reason, and that is True Father's mission and the providence. Because the Christians did not receive True Father in the beginning, 45, 47, he went to Pyongyang, and he was bitterly rejected by many of the Christians, in spite of so many spiritual testimonies. You can read in especially Shambu Mugyeong, there's some incredible testimonies there, about what happened when True Father went to Pyongyang. And he met with people who had dreams and revelations about him coming, and even before he was born. This is so amazing. So God was surely there, and good spiritual was surely there. But anyway, there wasn't this foundation, what he talks about between 45 and 1952. That was the sort of first providence, the first providence of True Parents, of True Father, was from 1945 to 1952, and his first marriage. But it was not succeeded. So that's why he had to start 1954, the unification movement. But anyway, that is the main reason for the Korean War. So it would never have happened if there had been unity in Korea. And as we will see later, there was prepared groups on the west coast of Korea and east coast of Korea, but they could not unite. So also on the right here, you see there's a man. Inside all of us, we have this inner conflict between the mind and body. And the mind works for the whole purpose and the body for the individual purpose. And this struggle became like a war. It can be like an internal struggle, but it can also be like an external expanded struggle. And that is the reason for the division of Korea. So we can still look inside ourselves. We are still divided. We are not pure. We're not 100% pure. At least I'm not 100% pure. So I can see this division remains inside of me. Yeah. So divided Korea is a reflection of human mind-body conflict. I have to speed up a little bit. I can see I'm too slow. Sorry. Okay, this side you have seen some pictures you have seen before, so I don't have to talk so much about them. This is the shape of Korea. It looks like an angel blowing a trumpet. Yeah, so there are some spiritual, I should say, traditions behind Korea as a nation. Korean flag is very special. It has these I Ching symbols, and I will not go through this. We have talked about it before. The Korean language is very special. It was revealed like a revelation to King Sejong a long time ago. Okay. So first Israel could not unite with Jesus, and that's why Christianity became a spiritual country, land. That's more like Swedish country. Spiritual country should be there. And now the third Israel is Korea. So True Father was born Cheongju. Yeah. So I will skip some slides because it will take too long time. But anyway, I already spoke about these early days in Korea. So there was a West Coast group, female group, and an East Coast group, a male group. And did they unite? No, they did not unite. Yeah. I know you know where to find more information about this if you want to dig deeper and read about this. Yeah. So here we have again like a symbolic division between the numerical from 1 to 10. And we get to 38. And this was the Jesus picture on the skies during the Korean War. And here's the founding of Unification Church then, 1954. Interestingly, 1953, Stalin died. Stalin was one of the cruelest communist leaders in Soviet. So it was like the bad guy died and the good guy, the good person could rise. 1960, we have the Holy Wedding. And here we talked about the channeling. So you've seen this before, but I take it because I see so much preparation for True Parents. And this is now coming like the final fruit is the unification of Korea. We know that this is very important, unification of Korea. So all this is like a building up the foundation for the unification of Korea. And there's another from my previous sermons. Yeah. So many different testimonies and revelations. Okay. Jesus worked on the individual level, True Parents and family level, and now we have a wholly united national level, and that is like cosmic level actually. The whole world, the spirit world and the physical world can unite if there is a country that is united around True Parents. That's a condition. Okay. This is for my Danish audience. I will skip this. This was the universal link. I talked about this before. I wanted to have it just before this for the Danes to honor them and show them again. Okay. There. So And True Father commented something about this. It's under my spiritual dominion that these phenomena appear. My spiritual appears in different forms, so I can appear into 1,000 people at once. So this is really what I think, what I believe. I will conclude with that also after finishing. So this is what I believe will happen, that the spirit world, we already spoke about Hunginim, Yoginim, Daimonim, and True Fathers and spirit world, of course, and they all work very hard, I'm sure. So this will sort of make the spiritual invisible force behind unifying Korea. Yeah, this is important. True Father's divine work in spirit world. And Arthur Ford, I also skipped. We had talked about this testimony before. Here are some interesting points about musicians. They are maybe not always so holy like rock musicians, but they are very spiritually inspired, because you surely know the Queen, the famous British rock band. And I just read this sentence here: one man, one goal, one mission. And I interpret it as Messiah, Christ, Lord, second advent. And all we need is one worldwide vision. Of course, through Pan's vision, yeah. One true religion, the one principle. And talk about cold wind blows, a follow man, a dark rain falls, fallen spirits down to earth. So this is, there's only one direction, the blessing, one world, one vision. Kingdom of heaven, Korea, yeah, one vision. So of course this can be interpreted in other ways also. But anyway, for me, this is some kind of heavenly inspiration. Of course, I did not know about true parents or Korea or all this, but spiritually, spiritual is working all the time with mankind, so they can inspire this way. So you see here, there are many of those. I will not go through them, but just is Whitney Houston, My Love Is Your Love. It's one of my favorite songs, very beautiful. And I think she sings with her daughter. If you haven't heard that, please try to find on YouTube, My Love Is Your Love by Whitney Houston. It's a beautiful song, and it really talks about, like you can see here, if I wake up in World War III, and then we have the prophecies in divine principle about world wars at the end. Yeah, we stay young through each other's eyes. There's true love. It's okay as long as you go. I got you, babe. True love. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but you get my idea of this. Why I bring this up is because the spiritual is signs of spiritual presence in mankind, even those who are not religious or who are not at all interested in providence or God or spiritual like this way. Still, spiritual can inspire special musicians. Yeah, I know Bob Dylan. He said one time he heard a gospel on the radio, and he was inspired by that. He felt like he was on cloud 11, and he made some song out of that. Yeah. So another proof. Here's another thing, 2003. You maybe remember Da Vinci Code. This book by Dan Brown, and then later became a film. And the interesting thing with this is that almost everybody saw this or read the book. And it becomes like sort of, what do you say, like something go on the internet, you say it's go viral. It goes viral. So this film and this book went viral. And I see that as a sign of spiritual pushing, returning resurrection. Because what did I do? What was the message of this Da Vinci Code? It was that Jesus had children, and there was a lineage from Jesus. Of course, we know from the divine principle that is not true. Jesus never had any children. But anyway, this concept, because that is really True Father's teaching, the divine principle core is that Jesus should have married, had a family, children, grandchildren, and there would be a new pure God's lineage on the earth. That was the summary. Yeah, that. Okay, here's another sign. We live in the era of high noon, True Father talks about. We saw the Me Too movement went viral, and tax havens, you cannot hide money, media covering world events, and you have the Ukrainian war crimes that media is reporting all the time. So you cannot hide evil anymore. We are one global family already. Okay. So here are the 3 core books, and Yeah, I think I brought this because we have this communism, VOC and Causa. Above that, you can see Causa in Latin America. It was very successful, and that is working against communism. So that has a place here also. Today, we could say victory of totalitarianism and corruption. Communism is, yeah, more or less dead. Of course, it exists officially in Korea, in China, but they have a market economy, so it's not pure communism. And North Korea is also communist still. Okay. Maybe you remember this, the Kaesong Industrial Complex. There was like a good cooperation on the North Korean, north of the border, between South Korean management and North Korean workers. And then this happened in June 2020 in retaliation for Democratic People's Republic of Korea, North Korea, leafleting activities by private groups in South Korea. So this cooperation was halted, and yeah, let's hope it starts again. Here's another not so good sign. Russia announced that they will withdraw from the International Space Station. They have been cooperating even since the Cold War. Actually, they were involved very deeply, in part of this science mission. So I mean, we have a situation today that is quite, what should I say, sort of disturbing. Like we can see that there's division again, and almost like a Cold War coming back. Yeah, but this is not to give up hope, because we have Korea, and we have the heavily unified Korea to look forward to. So this is the end of my introduction. I have to watch the clock. Yes, time is running. So I have to now I have to skip slides because this will be too long. But anyway, I hope you liked my introduction, and the summary is here for this introduction, that we have those three directions, and now we have to choose the right one. Okay. End of introduction. So this is from this memory stick and this lecture. So the PowerPoints, I've chosen some of those, and you see it's quite detailed. They go into detail into this this communist theory, and I don't find it so interesting, actually. So I will go. You will see that I will go through quite quickly and just point to the main points. So Juche socialism is based on materialism, just like communism. And True Father talks about Chimjong, which is the heart, the sentiment of deep love before the fall. So they together are called Chimjong in Korean. And God is the root of Adam and Eve, and his love for them. And we have the internal nature and the external form, from the one principle, Sung Sang Yung Sang, and positive entity, negative entity. It's like complementary. So man and woman complement each other in a beautiful way, and that is an expression of God. But of course, it should be God's expression of true love. Because of the fall, it didn't come about. So we talk about dual characteristics of God, and we talk about the internal and the external, and man has this dual characteristics. So internal, external, and man and woman. Those are the four pillars, you could say, of man and family. Human liberation theory, is it freedom or class liberation? So communism, talks about liberation of the working class. And here again, we see Chimjong. And now we have a new word, Yojong. It's filial piety and obedience. So this is like from the Bible: with all your heart, will, and sincerity, love your God and love your neighbor as much. That is the core teaching of the Bible. And in a way, you could say like North Korea, it's huge ideology. It's like a twisted, it's a twisted theory. That the correct theory is that you should worship God, and you should worship your neighbor. But actually, in North Korea, God is replaced by materialism and the leader. So if you are of the leadership family, Kim Il-sung, his son, and now his grandson is the leader, then you are free. You are free to do what you like. But if you're not part of that family, people are not free. So this is really like the false, how should I call it, a false copy of God's ideal. And you can see pattern. I have to bring in Ukraine war here also, because in many ways there's similarities within Hitler. He wanted to make a new world. He even talked about this 1,000-year of reign of Germanic race. So that was like a race war, you could say. And now Putin is replacing the Aryans tribe with the Slavic tribe. So he feels he has the right, because the Slavs are superior race, so he has the right to dominate neighboring countries. So again, this false copy of the ideal of the world. That's both scaring and also sort of hopeful, because where Hitler failed, also Putin will fail. This is my absolute belief. I don't know how it will happen, no idea, but it will happen. God will not take his hand off of this world. Yeah. Okay, so I go on here now and skip some slides, but you know where to find them. Korean Peninsula, who is the subject. So here we have the three great subjects. Godism is one God, one conscience. So God is working through our conscience, and you can really see this when I showed those music lyrics, that was like a conscious, like a channel into the conscience of those musicians. Yeah, so that's what I felt at that time. I didn't tell which year it was, but I think that was around 1980s. In the 80s, those songs were made. Yeah. So God's ideal three great subjects: the family is the parent, school, the teacher is also like a parent, and at the work, the owner should be like a parent. So he should care with Kim Jong with love for his employees. Yeah. That is the future world, right? Okay. Theory of eternity of human body. Yeah. So Godism is based on this concept that everybody has eternal body, and everybody goes without exception to the spirit world, and that is our real destination, our real life. Unlike physical life, socio-political life is not finite, but infinite and eternal. The socio-political life is led by the party as a member of socio-political life, which is the unity of the leader, the party and the public. Now we talked about the Yucha in North Korea. And only when you have a blood-related connection with the leader to the party will you have life. So they have replaced God with the leader of the country. Okay, I skipped the Yucha theology for two reasons: lack of time, and I don't have so deep knowledge of Yucha, so I don't want to, get get myself into things I cannot handle completely. Yeah. So here we have True Father meeting Kim Il-sung, and this was amazing, very amazing story. I remember two times in my life in Unification Movement, I've been really, really worried about True Father's life. One was 84, when he went to prison. Prison is a bad place. People kill each other there sometimes. It's really bad, bad guys. And then when True Father went to North Korea, I thought, when I heard that the first time, oh my God, we are one of the strongest anti-communist movements, and he's going to the lion's den, this expression. He's going right to the to the enemy. But he went to Hawaii first. The history tells us he went to Hawaii praying, preparing, and getting rid of all the resentments of Hungnam prison when he was in the prison in North Korea. And so he could really meet him like man to man, forgiving Kim Il-sung's all treatment of him. So this was 1991 at the official residence in North Korea. And True Father spoke very openly, if you don't abandon Juche ideology, North Korea will be ruined, except Godism. Yeah. So here we can compare and see that co-righteousness, that is the future. So basically, with our conscience, we will become one global family together with God, together with a good spirit world that can guide us and develop humanity in a good way. So that's why democracy is just a stepping stone. Democracy is not the final ideology, because democracy is based on capitalism, and capitalism is based on, in many ways, selfish thinking. I want money, I want power, I want position. That is opposing God's ideal, where there's co-righteousness, where we share things with each other because we love each other. Love is very important when you choose a way. Okay. So I have to skip here again. Meeting Gorbachev, 1990. Another amazing thing. End of communism. Yeah, this was interesting story behind that. Unification movement in America, they invited journalists and students to the US before Soviet collapsed. So you could say that unification movement had a key role in dismantling the Soviet Soviet Union, Soviet Empire. So actually Gorbachev, in his memoirs, he writes about this, that it was not his intention to that Soviet Union should what he said, disassemble, and they should become Russia instead, and all those surrounding countries would be free and free to rule themselves. But of course, people want freedom. This is like some God-given treat inside of us. We want to be free. Every man on the earth want to be free, not under any dominion. So that's why he started something very important in the Providence, Gorbachev, but it sort of fell out of his hands. There was too much power for freedom behind that. So when he opened the door, it's like Pandora's box. Like you cannot put the lid on again. So the process just went on and on. And even if now today's Russia is trying to, sort of bring back history, it will not work. It will not work, because God has given freedom inside man as the core. The core of God's will is man's freedom. So there will never be a going back to this totalitarian world, Cold War world. Okay. Gorbachev also visited Hanamdong in Seoul, Korea, returning after they met in Russia. Here's something I just mentioned shortly. There's a South-South conflict in South Korea. What is that South-South conflict? It is between those two directions. One direction that want to be firm and put sanctions on North Korea, and the other side, they want to ease the sanctions and cooperate. And you could see this, that they had the cooperation on the border before, like they are more towards that way. So if you're going to approach North Korea, there are two ways, and that is like the South-South conflict, because these two ways, there are many peoples on one side and many peoples on the other side in South Korea. That's called the South-South conflict. Yeah. Okay, now final slides here. Time's up. Heavenly Parents, Holy Community, one family under Heavenly Parents. Heavenly unified world, this we have in Divine Principle. And under this umbrella of Heavenly Parents, Holy Community, we can gather all religions and UPF. UPF is the new United Nation, the able United Nation. That is the UPF work we're doing, and it's going very well. Okay. Okay, so I think I skipped this also. So here's the summary. This is one of the final slides. So true love, if you should summarize this sermon or sharing or what we would call it, it is true love. True love will lead mankind in the right direction. Freedom, prosperity for all. A headwing thought, that is Godism. Revolution of the heart, Chimjong in Korea, filial piety, Yojong. They are the two key words in unification of Korea. Living for others, true fathers, true parents' words. And Jesus spoke of similar way 2000 years ago. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So this is my final conclusion. Here you see Korea and only Chimjong, original heart, and vertical and horizontal Yojong, filial piety, will unite Korea. So when man's heart is for unification, both in South Korea and North Korea, there will come a way. If there's a will, there's a way, you know this expression. And here I quote the Bible about Jerusalem. For 2000 years, Christians have read this from Revelation. Then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So it's like a spiritual, there will come a time where spiritual Jerusalem will come down on the old Jerusalem, and we have a new Jerusalem. So this is very profound words, because this is what I believe will heal and unite Korea. Spirit world, Hungjinim, Hyojinim, Daemonim, True Father, all the blessed couples who've gone to spirit world, they are the forces for unification of Korea. That is like Amen Aju, end of my sermon. Finally, you know, you got this. Yeah, we got this heavenly Korea at the bottom there. Okay. Let's see where am I now? Yeah, end of sermon. There we are. So apologize, a little bit too long. Yes, too many slides. Yes, a little bit shaky start. Yes. Anyway, we could finish it together. Thank you for listening, and join me in prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parent, we can truly feel that there's light in the tunnel, even though the news brings every day some gloomy reports about war and death. But we can see true Father and true parents, they are marching strongly forward, and we believe in the heavenly forces. We believe in the heavenly power who can unite with us, and we can surely bring this providence to a success. And thank you for letting me share with my brothers and sisters here. And I hope that even more profound and better lectures will come in the futures, and people want to go into deeply into this and teach mankind about the hope of the heavenly providence. So thank you for this time together, and I pray for all brothers and sisters. Have a good Sunday, a good week, coming week, and please let there be peace on earth. Thank you, Heavenly Parent. I pray in our precious names as blessed central families. Aju. Thank you.